Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 rated sportsbook app out there. I'm your host, Rudo, joined by AJ and Blaze, as the Colorado Avalanche are officially in the playoffs. Nobody can take that away from them. They have clinched.
No asterisk either by the clinched. They should have been the first guys to do it.
They should have, but it doesn't matter when you clinch. It's just that you clinch.
This graphic is just so beautiful. That's why I'm keeping it up for a little
That's
longer.
fine.
It is a truly beautiful
We'll just
graphic.
keep it there all show.
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm good with this. This is golden.
Look,
if you're a fan of a team that's not punched a ticket to the postseason, you're not welcome in chat tonight. You gotta go.
Bye-bye. See you later.
goodbye, Ian. Goodbye, Max.
Bye.
I don't know who else.
We will see you guys tomorrow afternoon, but unless your team has an X there, you've got to
we're
X
about to get
the chat.
Oh, about to get invaded by Vegas fans.
Yeah, all the sin bin guys show up and they're like, "Hey,
What's up?
how's it going?" And it's like, well, "We'll get to y'all."
Dr. Dubs on a night where I won't speak for Chad, I'll speak for us. I don't think expectations were particularly high coming off of the break.
Nope.
So
Especially after the start as well.
yeah, a predictably sloppy first period from Colorado that look, there was no chemistry. I don't know what you want me to say. Nobody on the ice knew where anybody was going to be in that period.
At least the Blues were in the same situation, though.
Yeah, they were not pretty. That was not a pretty hockey game for
No.
them either, by any means. So that's
I mean,
hockey. I don't.
that's Blues hockey, though.
Yeah, true.
It's like, oh, well, this was a sloppy Avalanche game. The Blues are like, oh, this was just another day at the office. 5-1 against the Blues.
5-1 against the Blues, 18-1-2 in their last 21, including the pause.
It's basically everyone that they've played. It's this, large number followed by small number.
Yeah. You count the empty netter, and they get to 4 goals again for, I think it's like the 9th time in their last 11 games or something ridiculous. The team is good at the hockey.
Yeah, they're pretty. I mean,
I think that is what I would say about the Colorado Avalanche right now.
no, make it a tiny crown. Tiny crown.
We're watching Allie put together graphics right
Tiny
now.
crown.
Put jorts on him.
That's going to take way too long. People don't know what... I'll show the people what you're seeing real quick so they kind of understand a little more.
Half-finished King of the Game graphic.
I just wanted a tiny crown.
Dude,
Fine, I will give you a tiny crown.
Oh.
Wonderful. It's beautiful.
Wait, you have to let the people...
Chat, you'll see it soon. You don't have to show it now. They'll see it soon enough.
Guess who it is? Let's play that game.
Avs put themselves in a hole early. Early penalty.
Yeah,
they
we talked
immediately
about it.
give up the power play goal.
Our conversation pregame was they're either going to come out with too much energy and do something stupid, or
Yeah.
they're gonna take a penalty in the first few minutes.
AJ
or-
literally said they'll take a penalty in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, a minute 48 in. Or something.
And it was either that or they were just gonna. It was gonna be like one of those. The Avs are on they're on zoomies again.
Yeah.
Where
That is
they
a great
just,
way to
they just
describe
bury a team in energy.
Yeah.
They've got the zoomies.
And it was not the zoomies, it was the stupids.
Yeah.
And it burned them, but it didn't end up. I mean, look, sneaking that game tying goal at the end of the first period.
Yep.
That's a perfect period for the Blues. They're up 1-0. They've done a decent job. They haven't let the Avs get any momentum, really. They've kept them off the board. They're chilling. They're going into the first intermission feeling good and sexy about themselves. And then in the last 30 seconds, they cough up a puck. Tyson Jost makes a great individual play. Finds Saad. Saad beats Jordan Binnington. You're tied. You're tied going
Just
into first
That was a
intermission and just changes the whole trajectory of the game.
Yeah. That was a great goal, too. Got Bennington to open up. Little backhand through the fiver.
Tried it again later,
Fiver.
and Bennington was like, I'm not doing it this time. Like, if you're scoring on me, you're scoring somewhere else. You're not putting it through me again.
And look, I think this is the story of a lot of this game for the Avalanche, as it wasn't necessarily pretty, but they outshot the Blues in every period. They got the better of the Blues in at least the second 2 periods.
Yeah.
They 1-0 is the score of the second period. 2-1 is the score of the third period.
Yep.
When you count the empty netter, and they got the job done. Whether it wasn't the raw, unbridled dominance that in the middle of their hot streak that we've seen, where teams just straight up cannot hang with them.
Definitely. But if you also look at their 5v5 numbers, are
Yep.
a lot better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, when they were at even strength, they were just fine. It was that they kept...
Especially end of the second, start of the third period.
Oh my gosh.
They couldn't get out of their own way.
Yeah, they just kept doing dumb things to put themselves down a man. Just kept opening up the door and fighting them to wander on in. Come on in, tie this game. Let's tie it up. Let's do it, But
And that's been their MO lately. In the last few games,
it
you know,
has
where
been.
they've
It
let
has
teams
been.
back in by taking dumb penalties when they got to be a little bit more disciplined in that third period.
Should we
Definitely
get
have to clear it up.
the penalty kill conversation out of the way then? Because it was a problem before the break. It comes back in. I think it's pretty evident that
They give up a power play goal 3 minutes into the return to play.
they dropped Patrick Nemeth into this power play, and it's clear, despite, look, yes, he was part of the Avalanche a couple years ago, he doesn't know the systems yet. It's very, very obvious that the time off, they couldn't get on the ice with him, and he is not in the systems yet. They just kind of dropped him in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I will also say that the first half of that first PK was awesome.
yeah, until it wasn't.
Where St. Louis just kept giving them the puck, and it was like, what in the world is going on here?
That was more
nearly
St.
had-
Louis than the Avs, though.
Oh yeah. It was all St. Louis, but it was like, what's going? This is so weird.
That was the reverse in their own zone.
Oh,
Just right to Nichushkin. Like, what are you doing?
Nichushkin's like, y'all for real? What the?
It was definitely a weird game. The Blues did not look great, put it that way.
Yeah.
The PK is probably the biggest problem, at least for the Avs skaters right now.
I think it's the biggest concern. It's the only
Concern
unit that's
is
not
a better word, yeah.
It's the only unit that's not just humming.
Yeah.
Because you look at the power play and like even with the
I mean, look at the
even with the power play not scoring on every attempt, or even honestly even looking good on every attempt, when it looks good and it can happen in the blink of an eye.
look at the power plays
It's
at
just-
the end of this
it
game.
hums, man.
When the team started to click more and the puck movement was just out of
Yeah.
control. Like,
Especially the second unit on the last power play where it's just flying around. Gerard and Kadri, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is what it's supposed to look like. This feels good.
Yep.
And it took Bennington playing well. Good read, good saves.
Yeah.
It does his job.
For sure.
But the Avs, what's different? I mean, when you're shooting the puck and you're moving the puck like that, you're forcing a goaltender to do their job.
Yeah.
And that's such a big difference with some of their power plays where they just haven't been. It's my biggest complaint is always that when their power play sucks, it lacks urgency.
Yep.
They're so casual about everything.
You watch him pass it around the perimeter for 45 seconds, and Makar takes a wrist shot from the point that goes right to the goalie's chest. And
Yeah.
you're like, what is this? What was the point?
Yeah, and that's even if the thing gets through.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of forcing the puck through this. They're just trying to make it happen when there's nothing there.
Yep.
Well, and they'll all stand around, and it becomes a feedback loop, right?
Yeah.
Where they stand around and nobody's creating anything. They're waiting for somebody else to be the guy that's going to do it. And then when you see the other unit come out on the ice and they're humming, they're moving around and they're doing things and they're creating, and you're like, where's the sense of urgency? You know, like, but to see it from that unit, I really just don't have many power play complaints, to be honest. It's scoring goals. It's generating chances. Not every single attempt looks amazing, but guess what? That's true of every single team in the NHL.
I saw some guy tweet that earlier today. Tell me somebody that's not upset about their team's power play.
And oh, by the way, Mikko not playing tonight.
Yeah, well, and
That's
off their top power play unit, no Mikko Rantanen, no Jonas Donskoi.
Yep. It was
And you can argue about the
efficacy.
the importance,
yeah.
the value between those two players is obviously very different.
Sure.
Rantanen is a key.
Yes.
One of the three, like, you have to have this guy to be successful.
Yep.
But with Donskoi, like, the downgrade from Donskoi to Comfer is legitimate.
Well, I mean, the other side of it is you lose Mikko Rantanen and Andrei Burakovsky scores 2 goals with the top line tonight. So,
Yep. And so you're at that point, I mean, you're just chilling.
yeah, exactly right. You are just chilling. Does Nathan McKinnon's point streak count? Does it continue despite the pause?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It does.
All right.
It's actually more impressive that he can do it over just having the pause.
Fair enough. No arguments from me on that one.
Yeah, they had 4 goals tonight and he had 3 points.
Was it 2 or 3? I don't know.
I thought it was.
Yeah, no, he got the empty net point. You're right.
Oh, yeah. He was an assist on
The
that one.
secondary
Yeah.
on the empty net. Yeah.
He was the one that got it out of the zone.
He good.
Yeah, you know, it's been interesting to see because you don't think of, like, you think end of game, face off defensive aces. And it's why Belmar's out there
Right.
with Landeskog and McKinnon.
And McKinnon. And then randomly, very, very interesting makeup of a lineup there for sure. But look, we'll have more negatives, I think, to say about the Avs tonight, which we'll get to. But you win your return to play 4-2 against a team in St. Louis that is dying for points.
Yes.
Yeah, so coming into tonight, St. Louis has had 4 games in hand on Arizona, I believe.
It was a 3 or 4.
It was 3 or 4. I thought it was 4, but anyway, it's essentially the next 3 games with the Avs.
Yep.
The Avs can basically erase those and put themselves in better position to
While
both win the
burying
division
St. Louis
and help Arizona out, which is in their best interest. Like,
For
look,
sure.
Colorado is now 5-1 against the Blues this year. They finished 6-1-1 against Arizona. Let's not necessarily pretend here like the Avs are losing sleep over any potential opponent out west.
Yeah.
The only one that's making them nervous is Vegas, and that's not a first round option.
Yep.
So, I think right now, like, they have their own race, but they're also helping themselves with every Blues loss.
Who do you think they prefer to play, though, in that first round?
Let's be real. They're going to prefer Arizona.
It's Arizona.
100%. Why? Because they're not as physical, right?
Well, and not even just that, but I mean, like, the games against Arizona aren't particularly close.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, the Avs are now 5-1, and I think 4 of the games have been 1-goal games.
They're squeaking them out in third periods.
And like some of this is a little like the Avs are up 3-1 with 5 minutes to
and
go.
they gear it down.
The Avs have a 4-1 lead going into the third period in the last game. Like, the Blues tighten the game up at the end, but it's not, you know.
Yeah.
It's like the Avs are protecting leads here.
Yeah.
For
So-
sure. And look, the reality is the playoffs are a grueling effort, and the easiest path to success matters. It makes your life easier if you're the Avs, if you have to go through particularly a team like Arizona as opposed to St. Louis, because what happens if you roll into May and St. Louis starts to get healthy? What is that team really?
Well, and St. Louis is getting healthy. Like,
they're starting to.
They're like Colton Parayko was their biggest loss. He's back. Tarasenko was their biggest loss up front. He's back.
Yep.
Like, them missing Robert Thomas is a bummer, but like this is not a transformational loss for them. It hurts them because they need all hands on deck. They are
scored by committee team.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's how they win. But if Robert Thomas is the difference between them winning a first round series against Colorado or them missing the postseason, they have the thinnest margin of error. Robert Thomas is not good enough to be that big of a difference.
True enough.
So, and the other thing is here is this is now what, the third game in a row that Colorado has beaten.
I think so.
3 of the last 4. Here's them, Bop. 3 of the last 4. They've beaten the Blues with a backup goaltender.
Yeah.
Grubauer has played one of these games.
Wow.
Yep.
Because Jonas Johansson beat Binnington in the first of the back-to-back,
Yep.
and now Dubnyk has won in St. Louis twice in a row.
I love how
That's
he has
right.
to pause mid-rant. Here's a bop.
You were asking me before the show started.
I know, but
And it started up, and I was like, Hanson vibes.
We have a few super chats real quick.
thank you very much for the super chats.
Yes, thank you. Just want
Spence
to
with
put
your
them.
usual.
Can't see it.
It says
Avs
super
win.
chat.
Good luck, everyone else, is what he said. Then we have Kaut Freed.
Yeah, well, I don't think we'll have a ton to say about Cal, but we'll get to him in a minute.
And then we've got.
Do you think the Avs are still missing Andreas Martinson's physicality? I'm going to assume that's a meme.
Got $5.
No.
Thanks for the super chat.
No, I don't know what still means. I don't. They traded that guy for a guy who came in and scored, I think, 14 points in 18 games to end the season.
Yep.
And then,
For Sven, yeah.
and then also a guy who, while he was working his way down the lineup and blah 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 blah, also scored a game-winning playoff goal for them the next postseason, while Andreas Martinson was fighting for his NHL life in Chicago. So I don't know that still would be appropriate.
Here's my cold take that nobody remembers is that Dennis Everberg was better than Martinson ever was.
Do you remember that wave of Euros?
Yep.
Like when they went out and they were like Everberg and Martinson and Borna Rendulic.
Yep.
All right, one.
And it was like people were so excited about Borna Rendulic, the first Croatian ever in the NHL, and he started the year
Extremely
next
poorly.
to Mikko Rantanen in his rookie season.
Yep.
It was like Rendulic, Soderberg, and Rantanen, and it was the worst line.
Awful.
It was so bad because Rantanen was on the left side where he didn't belong.
Well, he
and
was
so
playing
right.
like
I remember-
pseudo center. Yeah.
Well, he played center. He played fourth line center his second time with the Avs.
Yeah.
In those, because he got 6 games.
Yep.
And then 3 games later in the year. But he started the year with Borna Rendulic
Yep.
and Carl Soderberg. Imagine Carl Soderberg drops into the Avs and he's like, "What the?" Like Borna Rendulic, and God, this is not Boston. And then he leaves and comes back to this. Dude, life is coming at Carl Soderberg super fast.
Is that super chat from Joey? Very nice.
All right, Pink King or Pinking? There we go. Avs average 3.65 goals per game before today's game. They are hard to stop. Teams need better defense to stop them, or Avs have an off night.
Yeah, they regularly score 4+ since they got hot. Like,
Yeah, get better on defense, other teams.
The Avs are they throughout this entire season, like since not the entire season, but basically since the switch flipped.
Yeah.
And they went from struggling to banana pants.
They were like 11-7-1, and then decided they didn't want to lose games anymore.
Let's go boat racing.
Yeah, I think they were 11-7-1, and if you find they're now 31-9-4.
Yeah, it's
And you're just like, huh. Would not have expected they got to 30 wins before 10 regulation losses. After an 11-7-1 start, 11-7, I think it was right in there.
I was looking at that today. I was like, is that 9?
Yeah.
9?
the only
Really?
team with single-digit regulation losses left. It's out of control, man.
Yeah, but like for a while now, they've been the top suppression team.
Yeah.
While their offense has just like been climbing the charts.
There's
just
like
up and up and up and
the
up and
last 3 weeks have been like, oh, the Avs defense hasn't been good because they're giving up 25 shots a game instead of less than 20.
Right.
Like,
And if you go back, I think the lowest team average in the last like 12 years or so was Boston in the lockout shortened season.
Yep.
I think they gave up 25.1 shots per game. And it's like the Avs have been right in that range for 2 months now. And maybe they just give up enough shots on goal to get out of that range where you're like, oh my God, this is the best suppression team in 15 years. But they're still the best suppression team currently in the NHL.
Yep.
While also boasting an elite offense. The biggest question everybody has is, can they stop the puck? And right now, like, Devin Dubnyk has just rolled on into Colorado and been completely fine.
Yeah.
He has gifted 2 goals to the Blues in his 2 games, and it hasn't mattered.
Yep.
He gave a goofy-ass one up off the back wall, and then that softest Charmin shit tonight.
Yeah,
Off his blocker.
Yeah,
Like, he gets like 85% of and still finds his way in, and they survive it.
Yep.
No problem. They just, all right, well, now they're going to pull their goaltender, and they're going to get all desperate. Nothing happened. They pulled the goalie. They never
get a
threatened.
frozen puck. They win a face-off and they throw it into the empty net.
They get it into it, and before anything gets tense, it's a 2-goal game again, and we're just moving on.
Yep.
And I said to somebody on Twitter, they said, how are you feeling about tonight? And I'm like, look, the last 10 years of Avs hockey has scarred me. Like, I'm expecting bad things because this is where logically a bad thing would happen, predictably. But this is a special group that does special things. And like we can't just necessarily take for granted what they did tonight. This was an uphill battle.
Here was the vibe at the DNVR bar upstairs. There were 15 minutes left in the third period, and both AJ and I were like, here it comes. Here we go. And then a couple minutes later, Nathan McKinnon goes down on the forecheck, forces a turnover, bang, bang play, Landeskog, Burakovsky, it's 3-1, and the Avs are chilling.
Yeah, they got to 3-1, and you and I were both like, well, this is done now.
Yeah, exactly.
They made it 3-2, and you and I were both like, this is still done.
Yep.
They just don't lose these games like they used to.
Yeah.
Could it be cleaner? Sure.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, do you care that it was 3-1 or 4-2?
No.
You do not. The only thing that you would care about that would be the goal differential, but the goal differential stayed the same.
Yep.
So you do not care about it, and you're just moving on.
That simple, Blaze?
That's simple. I mean, the Avs got better throughout that game, too.
They did.
That's the best thing about it.
Absolutely did. It's
Some dumb penalties there at the end of the second, going into the third.
That was the
cleaned
thing
it
I
up.
didn't like.
Bednar was a little pissy going
he
into the
was
locker
not
room.
happy.
A little pissy.
Did you see the sassy man stomp back to that locker room?
I'm sure he did one of these when he got in there too, like through
Slick
the hair,
back.
slick
Yeah.
back.
He
like,
probably
boys.
goes into like the coach's room for a minute,
cools
and he,
down, like throws around it.
throws some water on his face, and then
Aqua Velva.
both of them, and then does with the eyebrows.
I hope
And he looks in the mirror and he's like, "All right, Bedsy, give him the hard truth."
They have Nolan Pratt open the door for him, and he does the blue steel out of the door. Like, yeah.
That's right.
He's not pulling any Letterkenny's coming into the locker room.
It's embarrassing. Kicks a trash can. Yeah, that's
The funniest part about that scene, I don't know, I definitely have told this story on this podcast before, but the funniest part about that scene where the coach kicks the trash can and yells, "It's fucking embarrassing,"
yeah.
is that we were when Bruce Boudreau was still coaching in Minnesota. After one of their games, JJ Jerez and I are standing there outside the opposing team locker room waiting for the Avs to open theirs up because where they stopped us just happened to be outside of it. And there was a trash can holding open the Ducks locker room door. And Bruce Boudreau comes by, the Wild's door, sorry.
Yeah.
And he comes by and he full on kicks the thing into the wall across the hall. Says it was fucking embarrassing. And it was just like
amazing.
And it was just like and the show like was not there at that point. Like that scene hadn't been filmed yet.
Yeah.
And so when I saw it later on, I was like, "Oh my god, JJ and I lived this." It was so funny.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so awesome. We can take our first period break on that note, as we are brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 rated sportsbook app out there. You can get 26-1 odds. Bet $5, win $130 on UFC 261. Bet on either fighter to take home the belt in the main event. If they win, you get $130. It's just that easy. Jump on it right now. They also have amazing odds boosts on any sport you can imagine every single day, whether it be hockey, basketball, football, soccer, baseball, cycling, tennis, table tennis, European bowling. Yeah, sure.
Robot.
Drone racing.
Drum racing?
No, drone racing.
Oh, yeah, drone
Dude,
racing.
drone racing is so crazy to watch.
One of those
another
cats
one.
is from Fort
Who
Collins.
were we talking to earlier about all the things Kroenke has taken? He has a stake in drone racing, too.
The DRL?
Yeah, the Drone Racing League on
Yeah.
NBCSN is in.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's so wild to watch, dude.
Dude,
It's way better than those car shows that I never know what's
the
going on.
concept of, like, they put on the headset and do the first-person view drone racing, that's
Dude,
crazy.
it makes me sick. I can't actually.
All right, well, so does 144 frames per second also makes you sick.
Okay,
so.
well that's coming from peasant life. It no longer makes me sick. It was just a 2-day adjustment to 144 hertz, okay? It's a natural thing.
Uh-huh.
It would have been way worse had that monitor been curved.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been way worse.
Oh, yeah. Well, when your monitors make you sick, make sure to get them insured, because you don't want to puke all over them and ruin them and not have a replacement. So head on over to Gabby Insurance.
It's true. I think we call that a warranty, but yeah.
Same thing.
It's monitor insurance. We'll call it yeah.
Gabby.com/DNVR. That's GABI.com/DNVR to check them out. A bunch of us here at DNVR have saved hundreds of dollars on our home and auto insurance with them. The average user saves $961. So it's worth checking them out. It's worth saving a ton of money. Blaze's partner there, D-Line, saved something like
It's funny that his
$1,300.
name is D-Line.
Yeah.
Eric.
Everyone knows him as D-Line.
I know.
Eric.
Eric.
Eric sounds like such a peasant name. D-Line feels so D-Line.
Like, imagine if y'all started just calling me Nathan on the show. and
freaks me out when we raid and your friends call you Nate.
yeah.
Oh, and
They're
I
like-
say Nathan Rudolph when I'm
they're
saying
like-
about the
like
breakdown.
who?
It's weird.
Who's that?
Yeah, they'll be like, "Oh, Nate, do you have a thing?" And I'm like, "Who is Nate?" Totsie.
Yeah, that's because I just call him Totsie.
Yeah. You guys called him that, like, in real life. They came
Yeah.
to hang out for a game.
Yeah.
And they were referring to him as Tot, and I was like, "This is so wild."
Anyway, head to Gabby.com/DNVR. Save yourself some money. Use that saved money to sign up for an annual subscription. Get a DNVR membership. Join us in the DNVR lounge, where we're always talking hockey. We got all sorts of other channels too. Of course, all of the sports, but TV, music, whatever other thing Eric just made a channel for today. I don't know. He's constantly making new channels.
Excuse me, D-Line.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, DNVR membership, get a free shirt, get a free hat. Michaela left. She was sporting the Four Norsemen shirt, and it is beautiful in person.
It
by
is
the way.
so
great in person.
Yeah, come model the shirt.
Yeah, let's go.
We need the shirt.
I just
live
heard a
on
voice
cam.
in the darkness beyond
Yeah,
the
I
lights.
couldn't. The
You can't
lights are
see
so
anything.
bright. I didn't even know she was back there. Yeah, look at it.
There
It's
it is.
beautiful.
Beautiful this thing is.
It's amazing.
Of course.
If you haven't bought one yet, now is the time.
Everyone needs one. It's so sick.
There you go. Jump on it. Join the DNVR fam while you're at it. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast, presented by that DraftKings Sportsbook.
Should we do
Boys.
King of the Game?
Yes, King of the
yeah,
Game.
let's go. No one knows what it's going to be.
Tiny crowd.
Nobody's
Let's go
seen
and
it
take a
with
guess.
his tiny
Oh,
little
there it is. Tiny crown.
2 goals, 3 shots, he
Berkey.
throws in a hit. Andre Burakovsky stepping up to the top line, getting the job done.
I need a tiny crown IRL.
Well, it's not really tiny. It's just that he's so giant. It just looks small.
I
Is
need
that
a
what
team,
happens? Boost Boudreaux kicks the trash can, walks into the locker room, is like, all right, player of the game, holds up a tiny little crown. Yes!
That's what a tiny crown is.
You're
It's
not
a
wrong.
tiara.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's the Snipe Sally Queen.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, Bednar's doing his presser right now, or they're airing the presser.
Yeah.
And I just looked up, and he didn't blink or move for like 4 solid seconds, and I
still
legit
doing it
thought
right now.
I thought it was frozen.
Bednar is a robot, confirmed. Yeah,
Yes.
he's built to coach hockey games.
Yeah, well, tonight finally got the milestone that the universe has
Yeah.
been trying
Yeah.
really hard to prevent.
They did not want him.
The
Longest
longest
tenured.
tenured Avalanche head coach ever.
Yep.
I'd love to see the stats on his tenure as well.
They're
It's got to
crazy.
be outrageous.
It goes from 60 losses to they have a 95-point season, I believe a 90 or 92-point season. I can't actually remember which one they finished on. Oh, it was 92.
92, yeah.
Because then last year they were at 90 with 10 games to go.
And they just
and
said,
there was
"Forget it."
a certain dipshit that works for a radio station here in town.
Oh my God.
Who was like, "Oh, they got worse again." Avs fans want to tell me that it's progress, but that number is lower than that number.
With 71 games.
Hey,
played.
the guy just wins
Yeah.
at every level, right?
So yeah,
Every level, and the
East-
hair game. He wins at the hair game as well.
ECHL championship, AHL championship, now chasing down a President's Trophy.
Yep.
Very John Cooper-esque.
It's
Very,
well,
oh yeah.
and we don't have the exact numbers, but we were talking about this tonight too. It took him 3 years to get back to 500 after that first year.
Yeah, 60 losses. There's a lot to overcome.
Well, and you remember that year too, right? It was just like because Wall just like quit right before training camp
Yeah,
started.
Speaking of yeeting,
yeah, yeeted out hardcore, and then all of a sudden it was like,
he like
Here's
looked at
Jared
the
Bednar.
Avs roster, and then he looked at like a brochure of golf courses in Florida, and was like, "Girl, bye."
As he was like holding a picture of Nick Holden, like,
he had like one of those little like lockets.
Yeah.
And he had a picture of Nick Holden
Yeah.
in the locket
Yeah.
while he was playing golf all winter that year.
amazing. but for real, congratulations to Jared. I think,
Earned it, dude.
and
Yeah.
To survive 60
Yeah.
to survive a 48-point season. Just to survive that was like
and
more of a
there's-
testament to Sakic than anything else, but to have consistently gotten better every year.
Well,
Like
and that's the exciting reality is he's the longest tenured, and the end of that isn't coming anytime soon, barring weird things happening.
yeah. Oh, the atmosphere in here is just great.
How tiny can you make it?
yeah.
Hey, careful where you're going with that
Well, I
thing.
am trying to move it. Don't you see?
If you're looking to a place to put your tiny ground,
No, Rudo. No. Don't ruin it. It was cute.
Honestly, you should give that tiny crown to Jokic.
Yeah,
'Cause he's
put
the
it-
MVP.
that's true.
Oh, I've got money on that too. I've got a lot of long-term bets that are
You're
looking
gonna win that
looking
bet.
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at
no.
that king
Now
back
I
there.
can't see
I
it.
mean, so Jokic should be the runaway NBA MVP.
It shouldn't be
No,
close.
like no
yeah.
offense to my deep love of Joel Embiid, the Kansas Jayhawk alum. Love Embiid,
They
Jokic
should be
is
back
the
in
runaway
stock
winner.
soon.
but we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Is Nathan McKinnon continuing to just make this interesting? We said on yesterday's show.
Yeah.
I was kind of suffering from fever dreams
Yes,
yesterday.
I was
so,
aware. Yes.
I don't really remember anything that happened on yesterday's pod. Outside of we briefly talked about how the awards should be pretty straightforward.
Yep.
McDavid's kind of run
McDavid,
away
yeah.
with the Hart this year. I still think we're there, but has McKinnon worked his way into the top 3?
It's going to be a great story when McKinnon runs away with second place in the MVP voting.
I don't know that. Well, and the Canadian voting block is limited this year.
Yep.
So this can't be the McDavid, Draisaitl, Matthews
Yeah.
like vote bukkake that they would have preferred it to be. But
He's doing stupid things up there.
yeah, I mean, like
Every
I
night.
have no issues with like Matthews and McDavid both being in it and hell, even finishing 1-2. But I do think like Nathan McKinnon's consistent dominance on look, one of the two best teams in the league.
Yeah.
Pick one, Colorado or Vegas, baby. I mean, these two teams are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which one? But McKinnon, like the difference between the two of them, and the reason that you give, or certainly the reason I give Colorado the advantage there, Nathan McKinnon exists.
Yep.
Point streak, everything that's going on right now. The things that he does that no one even looks at, like we were talking about it tonight,
the
right?
forecheck play.
The forecheck goes into the corner, grinds it out, gets that puck out there. I mean, he's doing those things that, aren't put on stat sheets.
And how does he get the last point? He's the guy in the zone that digs the puck out in the defensive zone. Like, we're not talking about him for a selkie or anything.
Yeah.
We're not getting weird about it. But when you talk about 200-foot play, you talk about what an MVP looks like, what an MVP does. I mean, what more does the guy need to do? I understand that he's not averaging 3 points a game like Connor McDavid has been. I get that he's not gonna push a 100-point season in 56 games. I get that, but when you watch him every single night,
there's no reason
the guy just does shit that other guys can't do.
I'm sorry that McKinnon plays for a competent hockey team that can rely on other players to score occasionally. Like,
That's why the Oilers are always so deep in the playoffs.
Well, it's
because
the
they've
most
got all those
balanced
lines
team in
going.
the NHL
Yeah.
because it not only has that high end, but it has the highest scoring defense. It's got like 7 or 8 guys with 10 goals this year.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's also going to have multiple 20-goal guys. Like that. And at the top of all of this is Nathan McKinnon.
Yep.
I almost feel like of all of the MVP-ish seasons that he's had,
this is the most impressive.
This
one.
is the most dominant
I don't
that
disagree.
he's ever been. It's just a victim of circumstance that Connor McDavid got to go again 8 games against Ottawa's goaltending. I mean, 8 games against all of those teams. And I've also said that the Avs are in the worst division.
Yeah.
So, like, Nathan McKinnon is absolutely benefiting from awful teams.
Like, the thing is, the Central is the worst division because it has 4
The West.
teams mired. Normally the Central.
I got it, but,
Yeah,
you know.
4 teams mired in mediocrity. Most of the
Yeah.
other divisions have 1 or 2 teams that are just disastrously bad.
Yeah.
That the
And-
top
and
players get to take advantage of.
Northern Division
This
is
year
right
it was
there, though.
Anaheim.
Yep.
But Anaheim, like, what's the one thing Anaheim does have?
Oh, look, John Gibson. And granted, the Avs did get to play Ryan Miller a couple of times, but
And Anthony Stolars.
yeah,
like,
Jesus.
like they, and really Gibson only had the one good game against them.
That is, look at that. 21,
Stolen
3,
game.
and 3 in their last 27 games.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
That's good.
I mean they're 5-1 against St. Louis. I had people tweeting at me opening night after the Avs lost to this Blues team that the Avs were not cup contenders because they still couldn't handle the Blues.
It's still on Twitter that they're a fake team coming out of the West, that they're going to get exposed the minute that they play a real team.
Who's the
That's
if they come out of the West, they have to go through Vegas most likely.
Yeah.
The other realest team in the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Oh, that's
hilarious.
a lot of super chats. What just happened?
Oh,
No, those are
She
just
filtered.
favorited.
Oh, okay.
I was like, what?
I had the same reaction, and then I saw 2 repeats and was like, "Oh, we're good."
All right. Good
Yes,
news.
thank you, Kyle, who says it truly is amazing considering a few years ago Avs were historically bad and all the Duchesne drama, no sight of being competitive. ... Am I dreaming?
Look,
that's
kind
a
of.
great way to wrap it up right there.
I mean, we should absolutely be stressing. Enjoy this.
Yeah.
This is insanely fun.
Yep.
Every single night, a team that shouldn't do stuff just does it. They are abnormally focused on their goal.
Yeah.
Which is to win every night. They are abnormally focused on shift by shift playing the right way, doing the right things. It's imperfect. It's not like you go through every game and every single shift it's like, oh my God, there's another NHL team out there. But at the end of the night, they just rise above. It's a special team doing special stuff. And like when you talk about like the way that we talk about like the glory days of Avalanche hockey.
You're living
For
it
a whole
right
new
now.
era of
you
Avalanche
are
fans.
living it
This is the beginning.
of the glory
Probably.
days. Yeah.
This is the beginning of something special.
Yep.
Like, enjoy this.
Yes.
It's not just about what happens in the postseason. That absolutely matters the most. But you should have fond memories of how this has happened. They went from a 48-point season to Game 82, which was a ton of fun, to being an 8 seed that housed a 1 seed, to then being a top seed the next year, and then like destroying Arizona. Like I've seen people consistently dismiss because the Avs only got to the second round the last 2 years, but it's like 4 teams in the NHL have gotten to the second round the last 2 years. The Avs are one of them.
And the Avs were literally 1 goal away from the third round.
Does this stem from the Avs coming in, winning the cup? But then, like, think about it. After they won the cup in 95.
96.
Yeah. But then, there was second round exits, things of that
Well,
nature.
and,
Until
like, if you go back, and it's funny because you talk about the glory days,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There was a first round loss to Edmonton in there.
yeah. That's
like
what I'm saying.
it's hard to like. There's no guarantee the Avs clinched postseason. There's no guarantee they get
yeah.
past St. Louis or Arizona or Minnesota or whoever the hell they end up playing in the first round. Like, there's no guarantees.
No.
Enjoy this.
Blaze, how old were you in 2001?
In 2001, I was 21, 22.
We're going to pretend you were 20.
Okay.
So that I can say that this is the best team in anyone on this podcast's adult life that the Avalanche have had.
I mean, I did watch them win the Stanley Cup in
Look,
01 in Mexico.
To be
Oh,
to
jeez.
So I was 20. So yeah.
Yeah.
I was
totally
20. Yeah.
like
Because I was drinking at the bar in Mexico. I was cool.
I was 6 years old.
Stop.
We've got people in the comments saying that too.
put 2001's team against this team right now, and tell
Ooh.
me who wins a 7-game series.
Oh, in the modern era?
I can't definitively say.
No,
if
in the
you're-
modern era.
Yeah, of course the Evs would run circles around them and skating and stuff, but like if you're doing your best to adjust for like how good they were against their competition, that's a great series.
Yeah.
like
The one thing that the 01 team has, without a doubt, in spades, no question about it, is Patrick Roy.
yeah. Agreed. The greatest goaltender ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow, we are getting everyone just saying how old they were in 2001, and,
Well, and
the
this is the thing,
variety
like,
of
people Blaze's
fans
age
are
aren't watching
so
YouTube.
cool. No, we've got
age.
we've got a few. We have
Like,
a few older.
And I don't like by and large, I'm like, this isn't like, this is like data. This isn't like me dunking on anybody.
yep.
The
Yeah.
reason,
But dunking on me.
The reason that I'm saying this, the reason I'm saying is like this is the glory days for a lot of these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a whole new feeling, and let me tell you, and Broncos fans will understand. Broncos fans my age will understand. When you win it as a kid and when your team wins it as an adult, it is a very different feeling.
Yep.
Especially when you were a kid in Denver in the mid-90s where the Avs won the cup and the Broncos won 2 Super Bowls,
Yep.
and then the Avs won another cup.
And greatness
And the
was part and
Rockies,
parcel with existence.
the Rockies
Except
were
for
the fastest
Rockies and-
expansion team to ever make the postseason, and the Nuggets were the first 8 seed to ever upset a 1 seed. You just thought shit like this happened. It's like anybody that grew up in Boston in the last like 20 years, right?
Yep. You just win championships.
It's
It's
like
just what you
championships
do.
is just
Yeah.
like part of life. But now that the Avs like went through a decade where everything sucked, where they had false starts, they had
Oh,
false
my
hope,
goodness.
where they have a draft class that we're going to talk about on tomorrow's PDSP. 2009.
I'm
They have Matt Duchene,
Unbelievable
Ryan
good,
O'Reilly, and
yeah.
Tyson Berry from one draft class. Wow. From one draft class, they get a number 1 and a number 2 center.
Yep.
They get a guy that would end up becoming their highest scoring defenseman in franchise history. Like, and they got nowhere. They got nowhere. They won one fluky-ass division title on the last day of the season because the Blues always choke. Like, they won one, and then lost in the first round. There was nothing. And now this team, consistently on the ascent, it's been a straight line up.
I didn't know Randy was alive the last time the Leafs won the cup.
Wow.
19.
This is a special group.
It is.
It
It's
is.
a special,
100%.
and nights like tonight reinforce, because this is no Mikko Rantanen, no Philip Grubauer. They're on their third goaltender of the season.
Yep.
Okay, their third goaltender.
Yep.
Doobie, who looks like he's in great shape.
Their top goal scorer, like. Jonas Donskoy is having like a career year, missing in action, and they come out of a week break against a team that absolutely has to have points,
It's team chemistry.
they just make it happen.
You've got to. Some of that is the locker room is a great place to be.
Well,
right
and
now.
Can I just want to say it's such a beautiful thing that. So when I was young, like everybody loved the Avs. I didn't know any better as a kid, and post 16-17, watching the Avalanche fan base grow and become. I don't want to say it's the premier team in Colorado because it's always going to be a Broncos sports town. It just
Sure.
is.
Yep.
But it's been in my adult life, I don't remember the buzz around this team. And
same.
the new generation of fans that are just pouring in it's so awesome to see.
It's the Brad Francises and the Eddies of the world,
Yep.
like that next wave of diehard Avs fans that are going to take our jobs in 10 years.
Yep, straight up.
Those are going to be the guys that are doing what we do. Like that next generation. It's awesome to see them be a part of this and get to be connected with them, as well as, of course, the people that remember. You know, the people that remember what it was like
Before
when
YouTube.
Sakic scored, 18 goals in their first playoff run.
Yeah.
And, like, us not having the proper context.
Yep.
To
Of
know
how
that, like,
insane that actually is.
I'm sorry, he did what?
Before the the Avs are tied going into the third. Well, we're going to lose this game era.
Yeah,
There
well, I
was
mean-
the Sakic area where you're like, oh, we're down by one going into the third. We're fine. We're gonna tie it up, go to OT, and
Like,
they're gonna score and win it.
Between Sakic and Forsberg and Hayduk and
Oh.
Tanguay and Chris Drury, like, somebody's going to do something special.
Yep.
Yep.
And they're going to be fine. And that's where
it's
you are
beautiful.
with this group.
Yep.
Hell, arguably the one thing that they haven't done is
Yep.
go into a third period against a good team down
And figured it
and
out.
be like, all right, let's just do some special shit
Yeah.
and just walk out of here with the win. But how do you feel about it because the team never trails?
I just remember, just bringing up all that stuff. I just remember watching Forsberg when he had the puck and checked a guy. I was like, that's legal.
It just like my childhood as an Avalanche fan was legitimately like, oh, the Avs are down 3-1. All right, Forsberg will do something cool.
Yeah.
Like it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It won't matter. So,
And especially
anyway.
in that era, they were just what we're talking about. It's a special team. Back then, that was a special team. You have the same thing where it's like you knew something was going on, and you're starting to feel it with this team now.
Well, and you started to feel it. The Game 3 against Nashville, that first round series, they are super overmatched.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they
Didn't go away.
they're down 2-0, and they could have easily split games 1 and 2.
Yeah.
They are a comically young team. They're rolling out waiver wire guys. Multiple guys that they plucked off waivers that year. Like multiple dudes that other teams were just like, we can't find room for these guys. And the Avs are like, F this, we're giving them jobs.
Yeah.
We're
And they
dropping
roll into the
Patrick Nemeth
postseason.
into our top 4.
And
yeah.
they smoked the Preds that night.
The first game
And
where they were was it the first game where they were
It was
weren't they
game
down?
3. Yeah. It was game 3. And they smoked the Preds in that game.
That's right.
And it was like they win that game like 5-1 or something, right? Like
Yeah.
it was easy money. And that building was banana pants.
Yeah.
And I remember standing there. I was standing up in the press box because I wander during games and they yell at me and I get in trouble and whatever. But, like, I was standing there nearing the end of the game, just watching the crowd. And there was just a sense of the moment, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, it's not now.
I've got to find.
But it's coming. This is about to be the NHL's biggest freaking problem.
Yeah.
To see it develop over time has just been like, this is how you draw it up.
Yeah. I've got to find video because there's video of me and D-Line at the first game where we had gone out and slang shirts in front of the Pepsi Center at that time.
As you do.
And then took that money to go get seats from scalpers. And that was a game where they were down, I think, 1-3, and they came back and won it in OT. That first game, and after the game, there was something special going on. I mean, like, people are just screaming, coming out of the Pepsi Center, like, chanting. Didn't end up the way that I wanted it to. But,
Never does.
Sure.
But, I mean, that is the beginning of what this team has become now.
Yeah, like, game 82
Yeah.
was like...
Oh, yeah.
That was really the moment.
was at that game.
That's the
Yeah.
inflection point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because if they lose that game, they miss the postseason. They don't ever get a taste of the playoffs against Nashville.
Yeah.
They don't ever win those games against Nashville that says, holy shit, we could do this.
Yeah.
They don't ever have that. And then next year, when they got into the postseason against, I remember talking to Alex Kerfoot before game 1, and I was like, okay, well, the media has largely picked you guys to lose in 5 or 6 games. And he was like, okay. And I was like, so what are your thoughts on that? And he was like, my thoughts are we don't share that opinion. We think we can play with Calgary. We think it's going to be a great series. We think that we're going to use the experience from last year against Nashville as a jumping off point, something that we can lean on. And did they ever? It was a bad game 1.
After that, everyone not named Mike Smith got ran out of the friggin' building.
Yeah, Mike Smith was the only reason. Like, 2 of those games go into overtime. And, like, we kind of forget that because shots in those games were so tilted towards the
Lopsided as
Avs.
hell, yeah.
But, like, 2 of those games go into overtime, and the series could have easily gone a little bit differently. Especially if Elias Lindholm scores right in front of the net, right before the McKinnon game winner.
Left pad lifted,
Yeah.
baby.
Oh my
that's right.
So, I don't know. I don't know how we ended up in, like, this, like, hype vacuum again. I genuinely don't mean to, but...
Look, I'm on record. $500 of donations will get me in jorts. I don't know what it would take to get AJ in banana pants.
What are
No.
Just no.
Yeah.
That's what the super
I would get.
chat was
I would get like a Scrubs equivalent with bananas printed on them. Like,
Dude, people would love that. $10,000.
yeah. I tell you what, a $200 super chat, and I'll start looking.
Oh, shit. That's doable, chat.
Yeah. I'll look. Like, I'll look.
So I did want to...
I have no idea what kind
Someone
of
found
availability
a
that would
banana
have.
pants romper.
Oh, baby.
a romper.
onesie? A little onesie?
People my size don't do onesies. We just look like big bowling balls.
What? I wanted to circle back on the thing that the Avs never have really done in the third period. And that being, they never trail, right?
Yeah. So the last couple of years, they have, I don't have like minutes on this, but they've gone into third periods trailing less than anybody.
Yep.
Wow.
And so it's like, okay, are their comebacks lacking? Yes, they are. But if you don't ever go into the third period trailing, you're fine.
That's true.
Like, isn't that the preferable position? Would you rather be the Avalanche that close out all of your games, or would you rather be the St. Louis Blues leading the NHL in 6-on-5 goals, which may or may not get you anything?
Speaking of never trails and being in the preferred position,
Oh, God.
if you need to take care of your happy trail,
Ooh.
if you need to put yourself as the new golden era below the belt, Manscaped.com can help you out, can take care of business down low. Be like the Avs and never trail in the third period in the bedroom. Get the perfect package 3.0.
Look, always be closing. All right?
Exactly.
If you're always closing, you're never trailing.
Perfectly accurate. Always be closing, whether it be on the ice or in the bedroom. The lawnmower 3.0 can help you with that. Their toner, their breath mints, their everything they got. They got deodorant. They got
They
nose hair
literally
trimmers.
have a care package for everything that you could possibly think of to try and help you up your clothes game.
It's ridiculous. Ladies, it works just as well for you, all right? It doesn't matter. It's called Manscaped, but it womanscapes just as well.
Stick or no stick?
Yeah, exactly
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Perfect. Manscaped.com. Get your 20% off with code DNVR. Get free shipping as well. Head on over there. Be sure to use the DNVR code to let them know we sent you, because supporting our partners is supporting us. We are also brought to you by Strava Craft Coffee, the CBD-infused coffee that has really changed lives. You can get 25% off at StravaCraftCoffee.com when you use code DNVR25. Jump on it now. It's the best deal they've ever had with us. So super great there. If you want to try before you buy, you can get cold brew Strava Craft at the DNVR bar as well.
I don't know what one of you just said, but Allie just covered her face with her hand.
Did I say something?
No, I was assuming it was
this
chat
comment.
related. Yeah. What do you think the breath mints are for? That's why I'm saying they've got something. They've got a little something for all the situations.
Look, all right. You take care of business below the belt. You pop a breath mint. And then you have a little kissing sesh, all right?
You get back to closing.
Yeah.
We just refer to it as closing.
You know what? People in the chat have taken every opportunity that you guys have said anything that could possibly turn into a Manscaped read, and then just gone off and done their own Manscaped reads all in the
Perfect.
comments all today.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Look, that's all good and
Banana
well, but
pants? Oh goodness, the entire time.
They should be spending that money on Manscaped so that we can continue to do these reads.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
If you guys don't spend money on their website, then they won't advertise with us, and we don't have Manscaped reads to do.
Oh.
I'm so happy with what I've created.
I'm glad you're happy, Rudo.
There has
Rudo's
to be
baby.
one of us that's happy with this. Speaking of breath mints
I'm
and,
not unhappy.
and mouth care,
I just sometimes wonder how I ended up here.
Green Mountain Dental Group, one of our longest standing partners, has their opportunities to get your teeth checked out. Just 15 minutes from downtown in Lakewood, bunch of people have switched over, and they've all said it's been a great experience with them. When you sign up for a cleaning, x-ray, and exam, you get a free Sonicare toothbrush. So jump on it today. Get on over there. Experience the awesomeness. Green Mountain Dental Group, yeah, it's pretty dope. We're done with ad reads now.
Okay. Someone asked if this show doesn't finish with closing time, I'm going to be super upset or disappointed. We don't want to get copyright striked, so no music.
Yeah.
I'll sing it.
Rudo will
One
sing
last
it.
call for alcohol.
And then this comment, we can move on.
Would it be
But
a
it's a
good
super
gift
chat.
for Father? It'd be
Totally.
a great gift for Father's Day.
Totally.
Yeah.
Your dad still wants to get down with your mama bear, so
Yo, real talk. The strangest conversations happen once your parents become empty nesters. Like, it's real weird.
Okay. Nathan asks international codes for Manscaped. I'm pretty sure DMVR works internationally.
DNVR, it definitely works in Canada. I don't know about Europe, but
dude, when COVID ends, the DNVR bar is just going to be a revolving door of Avalanche diehards coming in and high-fiving us.
right,
We're
like
going to set up a station downstairs for just high fives.
there's gonna be like. It'll be split in half, and it'll be a party for the Avalanche side and just a funeral for Jamal Murray on the other side of the bar.
Oh.
No,
No, don't get
They're still
AJ
going.
started.
They're still
AJ's
going.
I refuse. The Nuggets are winning the chip this
I mean,
year. I
Jokic
refuse.
They looked good
Jokic
last
has a
night.
little crown. Look
Yep.
at
One by
that.
one.
Dude, MPJ looks good.
Yo,
Yeah, then the
MPJ
other
three
three-quarters
pointers
Well,
on DraftKings Sportsbook.
you only need one quarter
Get it on
out of
that
him.
bet.
It's fine.
It's true. I mean, it's
When he's firing like
it's
that.
going to be,
but-
if his one quarter is 17 points
yeah,
every night, you're
exactly.
golden.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's still a great rebounder, so.
Well, Jokic winning the MVP.
Yeah.
driving hard down the middle of the court,
fans,
too.
I know some of you don't care about the Nuggets, but if there's one thing to get behind, it's Jokic for MVP. All right.
Yep.
You guys should tweet at Brian Windhorst of ESPN every single day. This is what we should do. We should enlist Avs fans to tweet at that guy every day
Oh my
to make sure that guy knows who the MVP is.
Aw, Pete here said, I want to give you guys hugs. These post games and podcast shows helped me out when I wasn't doing well. We are glad to hear that.
We appreciate.
I'll be honest. The show's helped me out too. I've gotten so many messages from people who have said similar things. Oh my God, you guys have been great. What do you think it's been like for us too? Like we get to be here and spend all of our time with the community that cares as much as we do.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna get into the feels for a minute. Sorry.
No,
but
I'm ready. I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
Like Rudo and I have spent most of our lives on the outskirts of all communities that we want to be part of. We were too nerdy for the sports guys, and we were too sports for the nerdy guys. And so we've always just sort of been like in the middle of that Venn diagram, that tiny little strip in the middle where we haven't always had like a robust community around us. And somehow I still don't necessarily understand how this happened, but like we ended up with this amazing community of you guys. And like we wake up every day and get to do this, and we are so privileged and so lucky that we get to do this as a living. People pay us.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's
legitimately insanity.
We pay our bills by getting to do this, and it is 1,000% worth it all the time. Because even though that there are clown shoes that we have to put up with, and we have to live through social media nonsense, like this is what part of what is making the Avalanche run so special is that we're doing it alongside a community that cares as much as we do.
I think when I really, really started to realize how important it was to me, it was in the height of the pandemic. And like I've heard from many, many people like, oh, thank you guys so much for doing the podcast all 5 days a week when there was no hockey and everything still going on. And it goes both ways. Like,
yeah,
there were so many days in the middle of the pandemic when hockey isn't on and there's nothing going on, and you wake up and I'm like, I don't want to get out of bed today. I don't want to do anything today. But I get up and I do the podcast, and AJ and I talk about hockey at 1 o'clock, and chat is in there, chat is involved, and we get done with the podcast, and I'm like, that was awesome. That was worth getting up and doing today.
Yeah, and 45 minutes, an hour, whatever. Like, whatever it ended up being.
Yep.
Like, it got us through that, too. There were still 23 or so hours left in the day that we had to figure it out, but it was easy to do with the community.
Yep.
It was easy to come up with ideas to do stuff because there was a community ready to engage.
Yep.
And like I've talked about this before. Multiple non-Avalanche related people have asked me who work at DNVR. Genuinely. Man to man, person to person.
I was going to say.
Sure.
Do you think the Avalanche are winning the Stanley Cup this year? And I say yes, because I think they're the best team in hockey. Like, and I think I think they're the best team in hockey, so I think they're going to win the chip. I felt that way about Tampa Bay last year. I felt that way about Tampa Bay the year before, and I felt that way about Tampa Bay the year before that.
And they got 1 out of 3.
So I was happy to be right once.
Yeah.
And I genuinely don't know what this podcast episode looks like if the Avs win the Stanley Cup.
No, I can't even pretend to think about
it. I don't know what it looks like. Well, how do we have that?
I don't know.
How do we have it with a bar downstairs full of
losing their minds?
Just
no
have
doubt,
it in the bar
Like,
and just let it go.
Like knowing like how much do I personally consider myself an Avalanche fan anymore? Not as much, but Avalanche hockey means more to me than it ever has.
Yep.
It's my day-to-day life. It has been my day-to-day life since 2009. I have been as invested in it every single day, from hanging out on forums and building forums and helping like MHH grow over the years, and then helping to run MHH briefly alongside Cheryl and all the different things. My whole background of getting here has been about the Avalanche community. The community put me here. I wouldn't be here
Straight up.
if the community hadn't put me here, hadn't said, we like what you do, we like what you have to say, this is awesome, we want more of this. My whole life, every inch of success that I have had as an adult in this industry is entirely because of the community. It had nothing to do with me.
I feel that so
it's
deep, man.
100% because you guys show up every day to say what's up and to go through this with us. And it's incredibly fun. Do I love doing the pod when they lose? No, it's not the greatest because you get the hysterics.
Yep.
But it's just being with the community every day has been amazing. And the team being good, it just feels like we've earned this.
Yeah.
We've earned getting to have this kind of fun. We have earned the right to celebrate wins and to enjoy it. Look, if the other shoe drops, if they lose in Game 7 in the second round in overtime again, it's gonna fucking suck. It's not gonna be fun to have to do that show again.
Yep.
But we'll do it, and you guys will be here, and it's gonna be it's not gonna be fun.
But we get through it together.
But at this point, it's big hockey family vibes. And if they win the cup, you guys are going to see a super, super emotional side of me.
There are going to be tears. There's going to be spilled drinks.
Legitimately, we're
Lots
gonna
of
need
Uller everywhere.
We're going to need reaction cams set up throughout
If they
to
go
chronicle us as that happens.
If they go to a cup finals like Game 7, that entire day needs to be recorded.
if they get to the Western Conference Finals and they have a chance to clinch, that it needs to legitimately be documented.
For real.
Yeah.
There's so many people sharing their stories in the comments of what this community means to them, and you guys got everyone in their feels. This is amazing.
It's a feely Thursday.
We love you all.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes you just know
Yep.
when you're in the midst of something you're going to remember forever.
Yep.
I remembered, I for better or worse,
boy.
I remember the game in Patrick Waugh's last year where Minnesota, their direct competition for the 8th seed in the postseason, came in, and I said, this game is going to define the Patrick Waugh era. And they got blown out,
Yep.
and they lost all the games down the stretch, and they were totally irrelevant, and Patrick Waugh yeeted. And I remember that. I remember when it happened and thinking, we're going to remember this. We're going to carry this one for a while.
Yep.
And all of the failures across Avs hockey over the last 10 years or so have just sort of added up to that's why this is as fun as it is.
Yeah.
That's why this community, it's so fun to spend the time with this community. It's so fun despite all of that, despite getting kicked in the nuts over and over and over and over. I literally, this is not an exaggeration, I literally have nightmares where I hear the ping
Oh, my God.
from Nito Niederreiter's overtime Game 7 winning goal. I only just watched it for the first time ever since it happened live. I watched the replay of it the first time ever yesterday. Because I finally felt like emotionally I had gotten through it. That the Avs are good, and I'm going to allow myself to enjoy this. I'm going to continue to do my job and be objective.
Yep.
But if you're asking me, am I rooting for the Avs to win the Stanley Cup? The answer is fuck yes, I am. Because I want to experience that with all of you guys.
Hell yeah.
And I really want to experience it with these two guys.
And look,
And Evan, where I badly want Evan to be here for
Evan,
that.
Evan's coming
we're
in. for it.
dragging his ass to the bar. If
He
he
can
ask
sit
me.
right there
I
if he needs to feel comfortable.
Only if it's a road game. If they're at home, I will be at the
Yeah,
arena
yeah,
watching that happen. I am sorry,
yeah.
but yeah, I just it's gonna be
It's awesome, and I think that's part of the greatness that we're experiencing. Is there's many of us who survived the dark times of the Avalanche, but there's also so many new bright faces that don't know the pain of being a team that misses the playoffs entirely.
Or watching a super team like the one with Solani
Just
in Korea
underperform
the entire season,
entirely.
and then just flame out in the postseason, and then it was over. All of that excitement, and then it was just gone. It was just over.
It was so amazing. You're like, what?
Or
Korea?
what it was like the day that Chris Drury got traded away.
Yeah.
You know, like stuff that like takes little pieces of you, and you just never get them back.
And
dude.
I'm so excited for the new generation to even experience the pain like that, because back then
the pain last year.
Yeah, I mean, even with Chris Drury, like Chris Drury was on track to be a Colorado legend.
Yep.
Like that dude was Mr. Clutch.
Yep.
And then it was gone. That was it. It was over. It was like
It was unfair.
yeah, it's exactly right.
There's a reason why when you talk about worst trades in Avalanche history, that's the number one. That's
Yep.
the one. It's the thing that everybody who was around for that era comes back to.
Yep.
That pain was real. It still is.
So you have a lot
real.
more super chats and everything like that. Danny Utes, Avs fans, says, love you guys. You guys are such a huge part of helping me get through tough days. Go, Avs, go. We've got Scott saying, DNVR family needs to be a shirt.
It's a family of shirts.
People are asking if you will pull out the jorts for the parade if the Avs
If the
win.
Avs, I'll wear jorts to the parade if the Avs win.
Yo,
And
if the Avs win a cup, I'll wear a fucking banana one.
Yes.
I do not care. I mean, we're talking best case scenario.
And then
I don't care what is happening that time.
I'll be too drunk that day to know what I'm wearing. So it'll be fine.
I don't.
can you guys sell mini models of Evan's couch?
We should sell a super niche DNVR Avalanche sticker pack
Oh my god,
where like one of the stickers is
this
like
a couch?
It's his couch,
that would be amazing.
and like the real ones will know.
people would be like, "Is that
Like
like,
the
a friend?"
Yeah.
like the random people that'll come to the bar will be like, "Oh, cool, like Avs." Like, why is this like? What is this
what's
couch doing here? But like the real ones will know.
DNVR Lego sets. You guys are amazing. We've got someone saying here, Brendan said, I'm a new Avs fan this year. I love the Rockies and always loved baseball, but after seeing the Avs live in Buffalo last year, changed my view of hockey. I look forward to every post-game.
Oh,
that's
man.
amazing.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
That is a great story because, like, watching hockey on TV, you know, like it's like cool, like it's fun.
It's whatever.
The first time that you go to a real
it's
hockey game and
amazing.
feel the energy,
And
that's
especially if
there,
you're down low.
yes,
And you can really feel the speed
unreal.
of it.
Yes,
Because if you're sitting like up in like a press box, it has a very similar feel to watching on TV. You're far enough away where you're like, oh, I'm comfortable with this view. But if you're down by the glass and you feel the speed of it, it's
Yeah.
life-changing.
Yeah.
There's something special about an indoor arena too.
Oh, yeah.
They
The
said they were a
noise.
baseball fan, and I was a baseball fan growing up too. And going to Coors Field is incredible.
Yeah.
But
The few times that place actually sells out and
Yeah.
like the crowd is actually Rockies fans and not half Cubs or Cardinals fans, it's amazing. It's deafening, and it's still not the
it's
same.
not
though.
when you're in a sold out Pepsi Center and the Avs are good and it's a big game.
Kill McCarr's
and
first game.
You're yeah,
Favorite
sure.
memory, honestly.
And the ceiling, the energy in that building, there's nothing in the world like it. There's legitimately, the entire crowd is right on top of you. Everyone is losing their minds.
Dude, his first shift.
I'm getting
And
nerd chills just thinking about it.
the
Like,
whole building.
Yeah.
Kale McCarr gets on the ice for the first time, and the whole building.
It was
it
electric.
like makes like this weird, inexplicable noise.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like a crowd of people being like, "Woo!"
what
It
happened
was
his
like
first shift? I can't remember.
he jumps onto the ice, and the whole building just starts buzzing. It sounded like 18,000 people
Yeah.
just started humming.
18,000
so
people were
weird.
Michael from The Office going, "It's happening!"
Yeah, it was so crazy. And then of course, when he scored, we were all Alex Kerfoot realizing what had just happened. The little hop that he does when he realizes it is the perfect embodiment of every Avalanche person when it happened.
Like,
Evan turned to me and he goes, It was Kale. It was Kale.
Like,
And I was just like,
just it gives you goosebumps. Like that moment, like without even thinking about it, just the noise, everyone screaming, so happy together. Literally everyone like high-fiving, hugging. You're just like, oh my God, no way. Like honestly, I miss that feeling so much. I think I will tear up or just be so giddy the next time I get to go to Ball Arena, like for a full sold out
game,
Avs playoff game. Like I don't know, I will not stop smiling. Like that will be one of the best feelings.
I don't even know how to end a field
Yeah,
pod.
yeah, we're done.
People are requesting the Nuggets funky music when
Play us
they
out.
win.
Play us out, Allie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did not know that the pod was going to go this way.
I didn't mean
People are saying it was their
Sorry.
favorite pod yet.
It was a good one for sure.
All right, we are playing
It's just,
the funky
While she-
music.
The funky music.
are we good?
You can talk still.
You can keep talking.
Are you, I mean, if you're playing us out, I'm done.
You're good. You got nothing left to say.
You guys can hear it.
All right, that's like weirdly upbeat for a feels episode to me. But anyway, thank you everyone
Try topping these vibes.
for
Nuggets.
true for watching, listening, however you consume the podcast. Just know that we love all of you very,
They want
very
you to
much.
dance.
We wouldn't be where we are today without you. So thank you. We hope you'll join us for the rest of the season and every
us
season
tomorrow.
going forward. Yeah, we're.
What time is it?
I don't know what we're doing for tomorrow's show,
Yeah,
but
we'll see you guys in just a shade over
like
12 hours.
literally 12 hours. Thank you again, and we will talk to you guys on the next one.